Welcome back to GearCheckGames. This is episode 28 of our Kingdom Hearts 1.5 for the PS4 playthrough. I'm very excited to be back in Halloween Town.
Have you done that every single episode?
Yes.
Honestly, by this point, it's just tradition.
And then commented that you were excited.
Well, sometimes I make that comment.
True.
Aren't you excited to play this wonderful crossover game?
So...
It's the most ambitious crossover since the original Super Smash Bros. On N64.
Yes.
This game is only good if it has a good scare? That's the lyric, right? Life's no good without a good scare.
You know what I never noticed before, and now that I'm not in the pilot seat, I can actually take a look at it, is the fence has little pumpkins in it. Like, the fence has little pumpkin faces.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's cute.
It's of no consequence, but it's there.
Yeah.
You know, I've been thinking about the last episode, how I said that Jack is never called Jack Skellington in the movie, which I'm almost positive is true, but I'm really hoping that somebody in the comments section is like, no, if you fast forward to exactly this scene, you can clearly hear in the background that the clown with the tearaway face clearly refers to him as Jack Skellington.
Silly, Nick. No one comments on our videos, except for those stupid bots.
Well, why are you making fun of this hypothetical person that's just proving you wrong?
Yeah, maybe in 7 years. Look, come on.
See, that's his game. If he makes fun of himself, then it'll take the wind out of their sails when they try to do it.
So we just saw Oogie Boogie for the first time in the flesh, not in the shadows.
Oh, that's why he was in Shadow in the Council of Villains, because he's the shadow on the moon at night.
Yeah. But also because the lighting is terrible.
Is it the lighting or is it the recording equipment? Let's be fair.
Yes.
Yes, the answer is yes.
I like how Halloween Town in this game and in the next game has a lot of, environmental hazards that can hurt, both you and the enemies to keep in line with the whole mischief and, playing tricks aspect of Halloween.
Yeah, well, I know the second game does that, but is there stuff like that in the original?
I mean, there's a guillotine in the town square that you can target.
Does that do anything?
I don't know. I mean, I remember a bunch of stuff happening in the second game. It's kind of hard to differentiate the two in my brain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I played through this world recently, and I don't recall anything being interactive in the town square, but maybe I just wasn't being inquisitive enough.
The entirety of the giant Oogie Boogie fight that we're going to fight later is kind of an environmental hazard.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like this little area where the shadows just come out of the shadowy area.
Mm-hmm. The shadows come out of the shadows.
Yeah, they really nailed the visuals of this world. I think I mentioned that in the previous episode, but I guess the one detail that's kind of off from the movie is the red sky. But at the same time, I don't know, I think it looks really cool, even if it's not 100% accurate.
So, what time does this game take place? Does it take place in the morning or in the afternoon?
I mean, it depends on what you chose at the beginning of the game.
Red sky at morning, sailors take warning. Red sky at night, we've got to get to Canto Bight and find the hacker who will get us into the...
This is how we get. This is the explanation for digital Riku in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Nick, because you made that reference, this video just lost half of its already meager viewership, and that doesn't make me sad.
Makes me a little sad.
That's okay, Dan. You're entitled to your opinion.
So,
in my opinion, the viewers are important for a growing channel.
Nonsense.
So, I love these Wigget Knigget enemies.
Yeah.
Yeah. The White Knights.
Why are they brown?
That's a good... Well, because of staining.
They were white when we got them.
Oh, God. So, here's a fun fact about the word white as used in the name White Knight of these enemies. In Middle English, It was... So in Middle English, there were no silent letters in words, so if letters were there, they were pronounced. And white was one of those words where the letters were there, so it was pronounced Wicket.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that guy in Monty Python wasn't just being funny. He was actually speaking with period-accurate intonation, I guess. I don't know. That's not the right word. But you know what I mean.
Well, I don't think... Because the reason that I know this is because my high school English teacher taught us about it while we were reading Chaucer. And I
That's what them noises are.
don't believe that the knight from the Canterbury Tales is spelled K-N-I-G-H-T.
Remember, you guys remember the part in the movie where Jack Skellington had to check the gravestones to see which ghosts came out?
Yeah, there was a turkey ghost, a tree ghost, and a rabbit ghost.
I guess you're right.
And
Hot damn, I guess you're right.
that was supposed to be a play about this room.
I guess
Yes,
trees
this
have
room.
ghosts.
Because this room has all the doors to the other worlds in it, but you can't go through them yet.
Well, if you go a little
doors
beyond
to-
this room... Actually, I can't remember. In Kingdom Hearts 2, they kind of expand this level a little bit to include, like, some more locations from the movie. I can't remember where this hill is in relation to, like, the other holiday portals.
Yeah, I think, doesn't he have to take this hill on his way to?
Well, in the movie he does, but in Kingdom Hearts 2, I think this area is kind of, like, off to the side.
Yeah, well, in 2, the holiday portals aren't anywhere near the Curly Hill. They're off, like, in the woods.
Right.
Also, in this game, the Curly Hill leads to Oogie Boogie Manor, so...
Right.
True. And we're gonna use this here in a second, as soon as all these ghosts are out of the way.
Actually, don't you have
These-
to take the,
You take the bathtub, but I think it walks over the hill.
Well, no,
doesn't it?
he just got the Jack-in-the-Box. I think you have to take that back to Finkelstein.
Oh, that's right.
Because it's a surprise.
I'm probably being stubborn and not realizing that's what I have to do.
Right.
Or
And
just
after you
getting all
do
the
that, we'll start to
experience.
have gargoyles appear in Halloween Town.
Oh yeah.
So that's fun.
Gargoyles.
Already the new enemies, the White Knights, they're really fun to fight.
Uh-huh.
Because they're very mobile and like their range. I know this is probably not a good thing, but it's kind of hard to judge because they got these long gangly arms.
Yeah. They're fun enemies.
I like fighting them.
They're one of my favorite, like aesthetically, they're one of my favorite Heartless in the franchise.
Yeah, I'd rather fight them than any of the ones in Agrabah.
Oh, God.
Because the guys that have the scimitars are just like... You just parry them a lot because they're just constantly slashing.
Right.
They've
well,
got
then they'll
the
like fly in
swords!
from off screen and kill you when you're like least suspecting it.
Oh god, they're too high. Come on, Sora, you can do it.
Use Thunder Shock.
Sora, listen, you're a level 99 Pikachu. You can do this.
Sora, dodge it and use a Thunder Whip.
Use Thunder as armor.
Oh yeah, that did happen one time.
It did.
What?
It was great.
Oh my god.
Just look it up.
What a bizarre franchise the Pokemon anime is.
Yeah.
Isn't that just static?
Oh, is that
Static.
the door that only opens when you defeat Captain Hook?
Is that a thing?
Yes, there's a door. Well, I think the implication is like, oh, you've cleared every world except for like the end game, and that's why defeating Captain Hook triggers that to open. But it's like, what a weird trigger.
Yeah.
Wait,
I don't even know if I use that.
hold on, static. You mean Virgil?
Is that a static shock thing?
Yeah. His name is Virgil Hawkins.
God,
I
it's,
remembered something.
it has been
Virgil's
like
my grandpa's name.
nearly 20 years since I've watched Static Shock, so. And again, it was one of those shows that I as a child with no taste just kind of like half watched while I was waiting for Pokemon to come on.
Yeah, well, I don't see you playing any Static Shock games these days.
Bruh, I would totally play a game based on, like, the original Static Shock cartoon.
There probably was one for the Game Boy Advance or something.
That man just broke every bone in his body.
His 0 bones.
If there's a Static Shock video game, I need there to also be a Big Guy and Rusty video game.
Well, okay, so there technically is a Static Shock video game, and it's called Injustice: Gods Among Us 2.
Oh, he's in that?
I believe so.
Whoa.
Because they really expanded the roster in the second one.
Known in some territories as Static Shock, the video game.
We lost them.
There are tens of people out there who bought that for that reason alone.
And I might be number 8.
So we have to go chase down the 3 kids because they stole the heart.
These guys look straight out of a Halloween store with this color palette.
Yeah, they I have to give him credit for at least having like a Halloween appropriate color palette, but the gargoyles are another one of those enemies that got kind of a garish makeover in Final Mix.
That's another enemy that's supposed to be blue.
Okay, so, correction. They cut Static from the game last minute, but it does have Black Lightning,
What?
which is basically the same. No, I'm kidding.
This is the one game that will get upset and shout that his arms aren't blue.
God. This, as far as like the different like Heartless colors and the like the altered soundtrack and like all of the Final Mix changes are concerned, like I don't mind that they added that stuff, but it really is a shame that like this is the only available version of Kingdom Hearts like currently on the market. And it just forces you to use all of the new stuff. Like there's no way to do like the original like level up progression, like the original levels where you learn abilities or you can't re-enable the original music, you can't revert the Heartless back to their original color palettes. They just assume like, oh, it's the new version. Everybody wants to play this way.
You can't get the Ultima weapon in under 3 hours.
Yeah,
it's a little
it'd be
bit
nice
of a
one to
cop-out,
toggle.
but it's not like there's a shortage of Kingdom Hearts 1 PS2 copies going on.
Well, there isn't, but like, if you've got your PS4 right there, like, wouldn't you rather play it on the PS4? Although I guess if you're that, lackadaisical about it, you probably don't care what color the enemies are.
Yeah, and like, as far as I know, it's still, as it has been for the past 18 years, only $20.
Well, and keep in mind, this is coming from somebody like I prefer the new music, and I don't mind like the altered enemy palettes or like the level up stuff. It's just that for the sake of preservation, I think they should. I think just like re-releases of games with like enhancements in general should not assume that like everybody's going to want every enhancement and allow you to like, turn it off if that's not how you'd prefer to play.
I mean, I'm of two minds about it, because like, on the one hand, it's not something that I miss when it's not there. But on the other hand,
did
I
see Sora just shrink when he jumped on Dumbo?
Yeah, I love how
yeah, he's smaller.
This is so weird. It's like we couldn't make Dumbo. Actually, no. The Dumbo's kind of like he is accurate to his movie size, isn't he?
Yeah,
I think so.
probably.
I think
Sora's just really small now.
Yeah.
The last time I watched Dumbo was probably when I was like 4 years old. It's a very boring movie.
It's
short movie.
Probably, I don't know. Depends on what day you ask me, but it and Bambi for me are like the two of the weakest like golden age Disney movies of like the first 5.
But as for what I was saying about remakes, like I said, it's not something that I miss when it's not there, but I do love that it's in like all of the old LucasArts wait, did LucasArts also do Day of the Tentacle? They probably did.
Yeah, I think so.
But all of those old like adventure game remasters that you can just press a button to switch back to the original graphics. It is very nice. And I guess the Halo remasters do that too. I'm sure Trent talked about that a lot during your Halo playthrough.
Well, that was one thing we talked about, not only in that, but also our buddy Ethan, who's on the what's the other playthrough we're doing?
Banjo
right
Kazooie.
Banjo.
He did a podcast about remakes, and we talked about it on there. And that was one thing that we really touted as being one of its strengths.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that episode will be out by the time this episode airs, but is it out already?
No, not yet.
Actually, now that I think about it, doesn't he release those on Friday?
Yeah, at the time of
that's
recording
tomorrow.
this, it'll come out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, it's only Thursday.
Yeah.
I'm so used to recording these on the weekends, I didn't even think about it.
So this is like the little river between the Swoopy Hill and Oogie's Lair, and it's so inundated with enemies.
It really
It's
is.
Every
also-
5 steps.
I remember spending a lot of
Incredibly
time here
frustrating.
trying to do the tricky platform to get the chests and just repeatedly getting hit with just new enemy spawns
Yeah.
Yeah.
and just being just
The one at
fed
the
up with
opposite
it.
end of this channel is particularly tricky to reach. I think it's one of those ones where if you don't have glide yet, you have to jump like from the very edge and then do a keyblade swing to give yourself
Yeah.
like that tiny little bit of extra distance
Yeah.
to get like a gummy piece or something.
I think I go for most of them.
That
Think.
said, that's something that I feel like we've kind of complained about a bit in this game, is that, like, there are things that are just barely inaccessible if you don't have, like, high jump or glide or whatever.
Yeah.
But I actually kind of like that,
I
because,
mean,
like,
have we complained about it?
a little. Well, when we were in Monstro, it seemed to be a point of heavy annoyance.
It's one of those things for me that it's not like...
Oh.
Wait, you can stand on that?
Only
guess
if you're
so.
very lucky. There are a couple of polygons, like, literally right where he's standing that have collision
my God.
boxes.
You can
and
stand on
nowhere
it, but
else.
not long enough to get your footing and jump up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
it's
stubborn
This is
ass
the
is
main
like, I need
thing.
it.
Everything's got a lip that you just hit your head on when you're trying to jump up at it.
Or like there's a delay on the jump.
But
Like
boy,
you have
what
to
an
kind of get a
accomplishment when you
running
finally
start
get
and
it.
then jump.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. This game is just
Oh my god.
it's just very clunky. I think that was one of
Yeah.
the things that kind of like put me off when I first tried it out. Was just like, my god, this game like
Hey,
Careful, Joe. Don't say that around Harrison Ford, or you might end up getting shot.
what is he like, Kingdom Hearts?
No, it's just that it's clunky.
he's the biggest Kingdom Hearts fan.
Oh god.
Could you imagine if Harrison Ford was a Kingdom Hearts fan? Like,
See the,
especially given how much he hates having worked on Star Wars.
What Greedo actually said that they just kind of mistranslated was he just walked up to Han Solo and he just said, "I'll be honest, I'm not really the biggest fan of Kingdom Hearts." And Han
shoots
just
him
pulled out
immediately.
that gun.
See, that's why
I'm not the
Harrison
biggest
Ford
fan of
loves Kingdom Hearts, is because he's not in it. There's no Star Wars in it.
Not yet.
Not yet. Well, I think, hasn't Nomura said that he wants to keep it to like Disney animation as opposed to like stuff that Disney just happens to own?
Well, you say animation. Need I remind you of the
Well,
multiple
okay.
Tron worlds?
Stuff that
means-
Disney created themselves.
Right. Like first party. Well, I mean, this movie
Simpsons
wasn't
world.
really.
Well, no, I think this movie, like Walt Disney Animation Studios or some...
Yeah.
Like, I think the only reason... Like, Disney people worked on this movie, and I think the only reason why it wasn't released under, like, the Disney banner... Like, I think they released it via Touchstone instead because they didn't think it was, like, squeaky clean enough to have the Disney name on it.
I think you fell off and you didn't even grab the boards of the bridge. You grabbed the rope
So
underneath.
y'all are seeing Jack just jump off the bridge, right? Like y'all saw Jack 3 times jump off that bridge, right?
Yeah.
Jack, it's alright, man. We can do this.
Also, I see you're entering Oogie Boogie's Manor without Donald and Goofy together.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
Maybe you may be
Final
falling
Mix.
into the trap that I fell into. Oh, right, it's Final Mix. So
Yeah, it's not in
that
here
doesn't
anymore.
happen anymore.
Yeah, they moved it to the, like the
There's
river
a Trinity
area
mark
below.
in here that if you don't get it before you beat Oogie Boogie, it's just gone forever, and you can't get it in the original.
Yeah, you can't get 100% because it's getting all the Trinities as part of Jiminy's journal.
Yeah,
This was like the one. I think this was the one world where I actually kept the world partner for pretty much the whole world, just because Jack Skellington's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah. Plus he's broke as heck.
He's also pretty good.
Well, it's
and
just
it came back to bite me.
Yeah, it's just a bummer that like, because like you want to use the world-specific partner while you have the chance to, but you never know when you're gonna run into. I guess with how many times
Trinity Mark.
we've played through these games.
You just
We
kind
should
of
know by all rights, but
You
just kinda
overestimate my memory
yeah.
You just
when
kind
it
of
comes
see a
to
Trinity mark.
inconsequential things like Trinity marks.
I mean, you just kind of like see a Trinity mark and then go back to a save point and swap your party.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be
And then
nice if you
get it?
didn't have to go back?
If you could just do it while you're out of combat.
I don't really mind.
Especially since you gotta go back and clear all the enemies in the room again before you can do the Trinity.
Hey, more experience.
That's one of the few things I'll say I like about 3 is you're never without Donald and Goofy. They just add the world partner, so now you just have 4 people in your party.
Yeah.
Because
pretty
now the
nice.
system can handle it.
Yeah, I wonder if
That's
that was
true.
something they weren't able to do originally because of technical limitations.
Yeah.
Because it's
hardware
like that in
limitations.
1 and 2.
And
Well, yeah, I think the
One
bathtub
and-
will take you back up.
2 were
Oh, yeah.
really the only games that had partners other than.
I guess another thing I like about the partner system in 3 is that you can have more than one partner. Like, there are sometimes duos. Like, you can get Rapunzel and Flynn, and you can get
Buzz and Woody.
Buzz and Woody, and you can get... What are the 2 monsters in Monsters, Inc.?
Oh,
Mike
Mike
and
and Sully.
Yeah, you get Mike and Sully.
But can you get Flick and Princess Anna? Because that's all I really care about. Though
Flick and who?
technically that was Pixar before the Disney acquisition, wasn't it? Well, no.
Bug's Life?
Because, yeah.
Oh, I wish you could get Flick. Damn. I didn't think about that. Man, that's like the forgotten Pixar movie.
Yeah, Doug, a Bug's Life world would be amazing.
I'd rather
I would
have
love it.
Flick and Hans the Caterpillar or whatever his name was.
God. Can you
His
imagine
name was
Bug
Heimlich, thank you
Sora?
very much.
I don't know if I
He
want
was a
this.
beautiful butterfly. I imagine.
how am I supposed to get
okay,
it?
so
Come, Sora, we must kill the Heartless.
yeah. So let's think about what kind of bug would Sora, Donald, and Goofy be?
Well, Sora would have to be like some kind of cool anime bug.
He would
probably
probably
be
just
an
be an
ant.
ant. Yeah, that's because the ants were the main characters.
But instead of
I'm-
anime hair, he would have like anime antenna.
Antenna, yeah.
Goofy would probably be a beetle because it's got like a built-in shield.
That's true.
Oh yeah, there was. I can't remember the name of the beetle. from
Donald would
Bug's
be like a
Life.
locust or something.
Wait, the Lucas for the bag?
Well, there was
the
a ladybug in
feeling-
Bug's Life that I... Was she voiced by Rosie O'Donnell?
Well, the ladybug was a guy. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Pretty sure
that
the
was the
ladybug
joke.
was voiced by
Oh, God. So if
But,
you fall all the way down and you take the little, like, warp back up, it counts it as you having re-entered the room.
Oh,
So
it
all these
respawns
enemies
to
respawn.
Oh, man. Are you sure? Like on my playthrough, I think like I fell. Well, no, I didn't fall down. I think I.
Well, I think it's if
Never
you take
mind.
the little warp. Because I've... Oh, God. Hello, darkness.
But it's the only way that you can beat.
That's not a room transition.
No.
Oh my
It's just-
god!
Just warps the
Instant
camera
darkness.
in.
It's just poor camera programming.
But it's the easiest way that you could beat Koopa Speedster
Oh right,
as a kid.
that is supposed to be a room transition, but not yet.
Speaking of which, when you guys play this game, do you use auto camera or manual?
I find myself.
Oh, I-
Manual.
So
I
you
think?
can switch back and forth by pressing R3, right?
Can you?
I feel like no, R3 centers the camera behind you or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember. But yeah, I usually use manual camera with frequent R3
You
presses.
can do it, Trey.
I was gonna
Indeed.
say for this game, I'm like all manual, but in 2, I can't remember specifically, but I feel like there are sections where you have to like glide, but also keep an eye out for stuff, so you can avoid it. So for that game, at least for those parts, I use the automatic camera. But for most gameplay, I find that it just kind of gets in the way. Like it's always trying to like move with you. When you're like, no, I just plan it here. I like the way that Zelda does it, where if you recenter the camera, it goes back to like automatic mode. But as soon as you start moving around the left or the right analog stick, it stays on wherever you leave it last.
It's gone, Trey.
I didn't know. You saw the process thought in my mind.
Drop.
So yeah, this room up here is where the three trick-or-treater kids are.
Rats.
Lock, stock, and barrel.
Three Stooges.
Yeah. The Twapes!
Yeah, it's lock, stock, and two smoking barrel. Actually, I always say stock. It's not stock, it's shock.
Yeah.
Which is
You got
weird
static shock on the brain.
because the saying is lock, stock, and barrel. But the characters' names are lock, shock, and barrel.
The thing keeps getting in range to be in battle, and then just falling to the bottom of Oogie Boogie's castle.
Goofy sacrificed his life for the greater good.
Yeah.
I'll get him, Sora.
Don't worry about it. I'll get him down here.
That's one of the few issues with this castle. It's like if you really want to fight that enemy, you're gonna have to walk all the way back up this thing. Mm-hmm. What once was enough.
Yeah, that spiral staircase was one of the many places as a kid that my height-based video game anxiety was very, very tense.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't call it anxiety here. I would just call it common sense.
Fair enough.
Because, you know, in another game you would lose a life from falling down, but here you lose your life, as in your time, trying to get back up.
That's the kind of life you can't get back.
Says you.
Anyway, we're gonna go fight those trick-or-treaters next episode. See y'all then.
See you around.
Bye.